defeat their leader. Yeah, the last time someone suggested that, it ended with the entire team switching out for 4 newbies. Kruger yells at the Rangers, something we haven't seen him do at any point previously, and the Rangers try to figure out why he's been so cranky all week. Kat goes to them and explains what's going on.
Years ago, the Trubian forces invaded Sirius. Commander Kruger, he lost everything. That's not an excuse for his behavior. I just wanted to let you all know.
Later, Grum comes to Earth himself and assumes human form. He dispatches his general, Banog, who sends Kruger a message about wanting to face him head-on. Kruger tells the full story of his encounter with Banog.
My home of Sirius was invaded by Grum. Sirius had assembled an elite squad of galactic defenders. Space Patrol Delta. The first SPD. We battled for months without sleep. Though our men fought valiantly, we were no match for the endless army of Trubians.
Victory is mine!
While we fought their soldiers, Grum turned his giant robots loose on the defenseless cities. General Banag led those troops against us.
Kruger was left as the last of his people and the last of his SPD unit. He vowed never to pick up his sword again after his failure. Grum walks around Earth, his presence killing flowers around him. He wonders why he should even bother with such an unimportant, meaningless planet, but begins his plans anyway. A giant robot drills up under the city, and the Rangers are dispatched to fight it. Kat thinks Kruger should be out there with them and says that he left out the most important part of his story. Kruger tells her it's not his place, but Kat gives him a gift. Kruger refuses it and orders her to get out. He later recalls the Rangers as the robot starts putting giant spikes into the ground. The Rangers insist that they could deal with them, but Kruger says they don't know what they're dealing with and will wait until they know more. Boom runs in and says that Kat isn't in the base. She's attacked in the open by Trubian forces and taken prisoner by Banog. The Rangers all stand together and tell Kruger he's out of line after he yells at Boom to do Kat's job, and he tells the rest of the story, that his wife was also taken by Banog and he never saw her again, meaning it's likely she's dead. After the Rangers discover that Grum is on Earth, Boom explains that the spikes are proton spikes, which are harmless by themselves but can't be pulled from the ground without deactivating them first, otherwise they're destructive. In turn, if a mega-neutron spike is put in the center of the other spikes, it would create global earthquakes that would annihilate the world. The group gets another message from Banog, telling them that Kat has been taken, and Kruger needs to go to designated coordinates or they'll kill her. Kruger sends the Rangers to stop the spikes while he takes up his sword again to save Kat. While the Rangers fight a giant robot, Kruger arrives at the Standard Rock Quarry.
I am here, General Banog. I've come alone as you last. I've come to avenge the spirit of my people, the honor of my fallen comrades, my wife.
A huge force of Crybots surround Kruger, and the general says that he'll only fight Kruger if he can defeat 100 Crybots first. And in order to do so, Kruger uses the gift Kat left for him.
SPD emergency! Shadow Ranger!
Okay, immensely cool looking, especially since his number is 100. A nice match is a reminder for his first outing as the Shadow Ranger. But I do have to wonder, what the hell happened to his snout? Is it just pushed up against the helmet?
Yeah! Ha! With this, the truest sword in the galaxy, I will right all wrongs.
In a neat touch, as he charges at the Crybots, a counter appears in the lower right, counting off how many Crybots he has left to defeat. Within 2 minutes, they're all annihilated. Of course, with all things, the inverse ninja law applies, and Banog is a tougher opponent than 100 minions. Banog mocks Kruger for his previous failure and tries to end it with a final laser shot. Kruger charges at Banog, and he deflects his blast over to Kat, freeing her. The Rangers manage to destroy the giant robot, saving the city while Kruger defeats General Banog. However, when Kruger charges him with the kidnapping of his wife, the judgment device registers him as innocent. He's still guilty of all the other stuff, though, and he's imprisoned in the Card. Back on his ship, Grum considers his failure in a nicely schizophrenic manner.
I have underestimated the Power Rangers. I have underestimated Donkey Kruger. I swear it will not happen again. No. That won't be necessary. I can do this. No more mistakes. No more miscalculation. I will be victorious. I fear nothing. Except one.
Shadow is a very good two-parter, but it really is too fast-paced for its own sake. What probably would have helped some setup was if we had gotten some of Kruger's backstory before this point, or a few moments previously where he looked at his sword and just considered it. Then again, by this point, foreshadowing never seems to be something done very often in any Power Ranger series. However, one good thing was that Kruger by this point had been established as a character in his own right, wise, accepting, and very balanced. As such, seeing his behavior in this episode comes off as a genuine change for him, and we understand why. The story itself is structured very well, and definitely one of the best of the season. In the next two-parter, Why...
Ninja Rap! Ninja! Ninja Rap!